My name is Lionel Jones, and I will be discussing the financials of Home Depot Incorporated. Home Depot is one of the world's top home improvement retailers. The company was founded by Bernie Marcus and Arthur Blank, and in 1979, they opened their first 2 stores in Atlanta, Georgia. They envisioned a superstore that would offer a variety of merchandise at a reasonable cost. Within these 2 warehouses, they were able to dwarf the competition with more items than any hardware store. Today, Home Depot has more than 2,200 stores and 400,000 employees. Home Depot is made up of an executive leadership team who manages the day-to-day procedures. The CEO, chairman, and president of Home Depot is Craig Menear. He became the CEO in 2014 after serving roles in merchandising, supply, marketing, and online for more than 20 years. Jeff Kennard is the president in Home Depot's Canadian stores. Anne Mary Campbell is the executive vice president of the stores in the U.S. Richard McPhail is the executive vice president and chief financial officer. The executive vice president and chief of information officer is Matt Carey. Home Depot locations in Mexico is Jose Rodriguez. He has been with the company for nearly 20 years. After working as a financial analyst, Ted Decker is the executive vice president of merchandising. The executive vice president to supply chain and product development is Mark Holyfield. Tim Horgan is the executive vice president of human resources, and Bill Lanny is the executive vice president of outside sales and services. Home Depot mission and vision statements, the company's strategic direction and business activities. Its mission statement is to provide the highest level of service, broadest selection of products, and the most competitive process. Although they do not have an official vision statement, Home Depot's vision is based on the founder's original purpose, which include one-stop shopping for do-it-yourself projects, to create a company that would keep alive the values that were important to them. Home Depot's disappointing preliminary outlook for fiscal 2020 indicates that the company's investment program to improve the customer shopping experience will put pressure on the result in the coming year. Home Depot owns 3.93% of the market shares and generates revenue through the direct sales from various retail stores worldwide. Home Depot expects to sell growth up to 4% in 2020. Home Depot has come a long way financially over the last several years. As you can see, its operative margin has increased from a little over 6% in 2012 to 14.31%. This is a much higher rate than its competitors Lowe's and Costco wholesale. Home Depot's performance ratio also displays its success. In 2017, gross margin was 13% compared to 28.86% in 2019. Home Depot expects margin to grow an additional 1.9% from 28.86% in 2020. Despite this, Home Depot's liquidity ratio has decreased over the last few years. In 2019, its liquidity ratio was 0.96, rates below 1.0 indicate that a company may not have enough funds to pay its bills over the year. This rate is more than likely due to Home Depot's high amount of debt. They currently average long-term debt over $26.8 million. Home Depot's income statement further reviews finances over the last few years. In January 2020, the total revenue was over $110 million and gross profit was $37 million. These amounts are both an increase from 2017. The cash flow statement provides information about Home Depot's cash receipts and cash payments during an account period. Home Depot's net income has increased from 2017 to 2019 to $11.24 billion. They also had an increase of $13.72 billion in net operating cash flow and continuing to profit off stocks. This slide is a continuation of the cash flow statement, reviewing expenditures, assets, and investments. As stated on the previous slide, Home Depot has continued to have success within the stock market. Since 1985, they had a significant increase in stock. On March 25, 2020, stock was $181.76. The all-time high stock closing price was $247.2 on February 20th, 2020. Over the last 52 weeks, the average stock price for Home Depot is $216.23. Home Depot is a company who pays dividends from their profits to reward their shareholders for providing capital to run their business. Home Depot pays dividends quarterly at a yield of 3.69%. Their annual dividends equals about $6, but varies per year. The cash flow conversion cycle is a metric that expresses the number of days it takes a company to convert sales into cash. In January 2020, Home Depot cash conversion cycle was 46.71, meaning it took about 46 days to obtain payment from sales. In conclusion, Home Depot is a company that continually strives to conduct business in a responsible environment through its stores, supply chain, and products. In addition, they are dedicated to serving its shareholders. They remain one of the best long-term stores in retail and stocks. In 2020, January, total free cash flow was $2,272 million. In Home Depot's 2019 fiscal, they cut its sales forecast and were lower than expected. In addition, shares fell about 5% after it reported that they needed additional time for investments to pay off. Despite this, they are back on track with their investments. Average free cash flow per share growth rate has been 15% over the last 3 years. In addition, Home Depot logged $68 billion in revenue in fiscal year 2017 and expect to pass $90 billion this year.